Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here today. Today is Tuesday, November 25th, and we are on the road to WWE Survivor Series. Survivor Series will be taking over the town of San Diego coming up right after Thanksgiving. WWE has rolled out the red carpet. Honestly, I didn't really know about how big of a deal this is going to be. I'm guessing that San Diego is going to be hosting SmackDown, and they're going to be hosting their own convention that weekend where you can go get pictures and autographs, much like you do at a WrestleMania with the WWE World. I'm guessing that they're just not doing the whole like when you walk around with the Tops booth and all that jazz. But then again, I didn't even know about it. But I've seen that people are able to get pictures with John Cena, as well as like Braun Breaker or Bronson Reed. Those are possibly two of the biggest names that I would want to get in WWE, honestly. Of course, they come with a little bit of a hefty ticket price, but then again, everything in the world does these days, especially if it's connected to TKO being in WWE or UFC. But let's face it, the chances of like Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed walking into the grocery store and just running into them, I think it's gonna just be a good deal. Normally, we roll out a live show that I call the WWE Survivor Series 2025 full show preview. With this week being Thanksgiving, I don't think I really want to do like a huge, long, drawn out stream going over match by match, even though the fact that we basically got 3 matches coming up on SmackDown that are a big deal. And then we have only 4 matches on WWE Survivor Series. I'm guessing that the War Games matches are going to be close to an hour each on their own. Last year, at War Games, the Survivor Series pay-per-view, we had 5 matches. So I'm not sure if something is going to go down on SmackDown that we're going to have to add one more match to the show. But I'll tell you the truth, as of late, SmackDown has really been getting the shaft when it comes to these WWE PLEs. I don't know if it's because of the relationship between ESPN and USA, but it seems like each and every PLE that comes up now, SmackDown gets like 1 match to the 4 Monday Night Raw matches. That kind of shows you how it's slanted these days. But then again, like Cody Rhodes is a SmackDown wrestler, even though most people see him pop up on Monday Night Raw. Pretty much, Roman Reigns at least was a SmackDown wrestler at one point. And it seems like he just kind of drifts wherever he wants to. But it seems very Monday Night Raw heavy, which is the show that I watch the most because of the fact that SmackDown is, I don't want to call it a taped show because it does air live for the people on the East Coast or the people that are watching on Netflix throughout the world. But here on the West Coast, doesn't matter if I have YouTube, doesn't matter if I have Hulu, the only channel that we get, by the time everything's been put on Facebook, everything's been put on Twitter, I still have to watch an hour in order to watch SmackDown. Even though that once SmackDown is rumored to go to 3 hours, yet once again, why you would make that mistake again, WWE? Why you would make that mistake again, USA? I think SmackDown is so much better as a 2-hour show. Call up, Walker, Texas Ranger, and see if you can air a rerun for a 1-hour show. Because wrestling, I don't think it's really made to be 3 hours unless it's like a major PLE. When you're putting the guys out there that I don't want to say enhancement talent, but guys moving up the card, I guess you can say, you're going to lose interest. And there's a lot of different channels out there in the world these days. And it's very easy to turn the channel and basically never really come back. The PLEs have made, destination cities for each and every pay-per-view along the way. And I remember like when I was like coming up in YouTube like 10 years ago, like a trip that I went on was the WWE's Royal Rumble. I want to say it was in 2012. I remember that me and Freaking Yeah 88 decided we were going to go to that show because we weren't going to WrestleMania 29. And it honestly paid off. The Rock won the WWE Championship from, CM Punk. John Cena won a Royal Rumble. It was a very memorable show, possibly one of my favorite pay-per-views that I've ever been to. And, for those shows, I would just fly in the morning and I would fly out the morning after. And basically, you just miss 24 hours of being home. But now, these shows, because they're having to put up money in order for WWE to come to them for PLEs, they're, making sure that Raw as well as SmackDown are in the city, and they want to make sure that those shows are really, really good. This week on SmackDown, we are actually getting a Survivor Series 5-on-5 old school classic match. They basically have stables in SmackDown yet once again, and they have built one of the MFTs, the former Bloodline group, and they are going to be going up against the group of Sami Zayn. We've got the Motor City Machine Guns. Then we also have Shinsuke Nakamura and Rey Fenix completing the team. They're going to be going up against Solo Sikoa, Tamatanga, Tongaloa, Talatanga, and JC Mateo. So I understand that the Survivor Series matches, because it's not just one fall. It basically could get to the point of having 9 falls in this match to have basically a sole survivor. And when they do these classic diva person matches or Survivor Series matches, it's sometimes when they're trying to kill time, it turns into a finisher fest where it's just like guy runs into a finisher, get pinned, guy runs into a finisher, gets pinned, and then all of a sudden you're down to the 2 guys that are in there. I think it's cool that this place is going to be taking place on SmackDown. I just don't really understand the feud that is putting this match together. I understand that Sami Zayn and dude, what's your name? Solo Sikoa feuded over the United States title months ago. But I mean, Sami Zayn was telling everybody that he had dreams of being the WWE champion. He wanted to be a world heavyweight champion, to be able to have a meaning for his career. And the guy goes out and wins the United States title from Solo Sikoa, a title that he openly told everyone he did not want. Then comes out and says that he wants to be a great United States champion. He starts doing open challenges, and he's beat by Dragunov, who comes out on SmackDown, who now has taken the United States title and opened his own, basically open challenge to anybody that has came out of the back. And we've gotten some good matches out of that. But Sami Zayn, you're supposed to be WWE champion. You're supposed to be a world heavyweight champion. And you can't even get out of this mid-card section, and you can't even get a rematch for your United States title. I don't understand this storyline. I thought it was very easy when they were starting to put the pieces back together. Sammy was not on the WrestleMania 41 card. He showed up on Monday Night Raw. He yeeted with Jey Uso, openly was gazing at his World Heavyweight Champion, openly gazing at, he had chances to attack Jey Uso from behind. He was in the Money in the Bank match, yet he did not win. I thought it would have been a great storyline for Sami Zayn to win the Money in the Bank and then be conflicted whether if it is turning on your friend if you have the Money in the Bank briefcase and you have a chance to cash it in after somebody beats up Jey Uso. Is that helping your friend? Helping yourself? Hurting your friend? Where does that rank? Are you just as guilty as the guy who beat him up because you ran down and cashed in your Money in the Bank? That's the name of the game. We've been playing this game ever since WrestleMania 21. We've seen this storyline pan out 1,000 times. But Sami Zayn, good job being not on a pay-per-view in a Survivor Series match that when it's all said and done, nobody's really going to care about. This cast of characters, I don't really know how they put them together. It seems like it's 5 guys that they kind of want to push, but we don't really know what's going on with them. There's nothing wrong with any of these guys. Shinsuke Nakamura, honestly, I wish was a bigger name in the company. It almost seems like he's either going into coast mode and they're cool with that to keep his name on the roster. But I really thought this guy was going to be a huge name, a WWE champion when he came over to the company, but it's just not meant to be. My pick for this match, honestly, is going to be Solo Sikoa and his team of NFTs. More than likely, I think Solo is going to be the sole winner of this match. Definitely, he was not meant to beat Penta on Monday Night Raw this week. But I think on accident, they're going to have to push this guy for a week, and it doesn't make sense for him to lose on SmackDown, show up on Monday, and us care about him fighting Gunther during the Last Time Is Now tournament. So I'm going to be picking Solo Sikoa to get the job done. We have a match for the Last Time Is Now tournament. We're going to be putting up Jey Uso going up against Rusev. I am really looking for some sort of a disqualification finish in this because of the fact we need to get over War Games that is going to be happening on Saturday, the next day. If you go back to last week, it was Cody Rhodes that came out and cost Bronson Reed his match against Carmelo Hayes. I wouldn't be surprised if the heels see this as Jey Uso is left in the ring, unoccupied, without his friends. We see Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed run down, attack Jey Uso, leaving Rusev to be able to pick up the pieces and get the win. Of course, this would play into the whole Jey Uso storyline of Jey Uso not knowing when to say when and what is the best part for his career. We went through this whole deal with him and Gunther where Gunther was openly telling him, like, what is going on with your brother? It's not your fight. You need to worry about being champion. And, what is going on with CM Punk? That is not your fight. You can't be the locker room leader. You can't be everybody's friend. You got to worry about yourself. And that's honestly is what I think is going to set back Jey Uso. And I think is going to be one of the main storylines going into War Games is Jey Uso looking around like, hey, I'm always here to help everybody else. And here I am, on SmackDown. Where's Cody Rhodes? Where's CM Punk? Where's Roman Reigns? Where do I fit into this whole deal? And is he going to have to step out on his own to be a bigger name and feel like he has people who cares about him? LA Knight is going to be having a match against another surprise opponent. I'm really honestly not sure if Sheamus is really hurt or if they saw the buzz that they created with Matt Cardona and Dolph Ziggler in the first round of the Last Time Is Now tournament. But we have a new surprise name to be in there. So I'm kind of wondering, like, who out there is a name that could come into WWE and have some sort of affiliation with John Cena. Um, I've kind of been putting the thought out there of like maybe it's going to be Rey Mysterio because the fact he keeps showing up on Raw, but every time Mysterio is involved on Monday Night Raw, he is involved with Dominic Mysterio, whether that's coming out during one of his promos, like he has the last 2 out of 3 weeks, or whether if it's after John Cena defeated Dominic that Rey was in the back. Rey Mysterio, John Cena, good connection on SmackDown. Don't really have any matches on the top of my head that pop out other than the time that John Cena showed up on Monday Night Raw and stole the WWE Championship from him. Just straight up, bad guy. Bad guy, John. Don't do that. Ray's a supporter. He's a fellow good guy. He wanted to challenge him, but you didn't have to challenge him that night. He already wrestled against The Miz, and he won the WWE Championship after wrestling in a tournament match the week before while you were just sitting at home doing nothing. You could have challenged him for the pay-per-view. You could have even challenged him for next week, but you didn't. Bad guy, John. So I don't really know, but Cardona and Ziggler were both awesome names. So I'm just gonna enjoy the ride. Hopefully, it's somebody that's gonna pop the company and make another buzz, even if it is for just a week. Because I think we've seen from these tournament matches that they don't randomly turn into pushes or even real contracts with the company. It's just coming in, selling a t-shirt, selling some Tops cards, and just moving along with our day. LA Knight is gonna get the win, move on in the tournament. I'm guessing we're gonna get LA Knight versus Rusev in the next round to go to the finals of this whole deal. So I think as of right now, I got Gunther and LA Knight in the finals to see who's going to Saturday night's main event to fight against John Cena in the last time is now tournament. Now we'll flip over to War Games. I'm trying to think honestly in my head. When it comes to Survivor Series, I know I've been to a lot of shows over a long history of time. Survivor Series is a classic top 4 pay-per-view, or maybe classic 4 is the better word to say, for WWE. Of course, WrestleMania came first after the Wrestling Classic. Then we had WrestleMania, which ended up sticking around and being a yearly tradition. SummerSlam came next, followed by Survivor Series, and then the Royal Rumble was birthed after that. I don't think I've ever been to a Survivor Series. I definitely have never seen a War Games match. I think War Games, in the history of WCW, classically always happened in the Carolinas, in Ric Flair country. And then they randomly did the one on Nitro, which ended up being the last War Games when Vince Russo drastically changed the rules. They used the triple cage. I think the Russo even classically won that match, which should still piss a lot of people off. But I even at this point, I can honestly say that I feel honored to go to a Survivor Series pay-per-view. There's not many things that are left on my list. I think I'm definitely not going to be done with wrestling. I don't even think that I'm done with wrestling trips. I would love to go to a what is it? Money in the Bank pay-per-view. I have seen one Money in the Bank match at WrestleMania 26 that was won by Jack Swagger, but I don't know. Money in the Bank pay-per-view always, gets me going. I feel like it sort of changes what time of the year it is. But it used to be like the starting point for the summer. That was going to be the main angle of who they were building up, how they were going to get them to be champion. It seems now that they have the Money in the Bank match. They have a Money in the Bank winner. And it's almost like a speed run to see how fast they can get rid of the WWE briefcases and have them used and sort of put the storyline to bed. People have said that Triple H isn't the biggest fan of this storyline, but it's kind of like a tradition that WWE has, and they sell the briefcases and such, so they just don't want to get rid of them. But I think it's really cool. I grew up watching Survivor Series. I remember renting the tapes at Blockbuster. I loved how they had the 5-man or even the 4-man teams that really seemed like the guys went together. Like if you went into a bar after a WWE show, you would see the Hulkamaniacs hanging out. Maybe the Hulkamaniacs would be at the gym. But I mean, you definitely see the Visionaries. Jake the Snake Roberts joke right there. I apologize, but you know, the teams made sense that openly they would be friends, even the heels. Besides for the one Ric Flair team where he was teaming with the Warlord, I don't see those guys ever hanging out. But then again, maybe just, he needed the biggest guy to watch his back that night. But we're looking at Survivor Series as a pay-per-view. We only got 4 matches. We got a women's world championship match, which is Stephanie Bakir. She's going to be bringing the title, and she's going to be going against Nikki Bella. I don't see a title change coming in this match. Let's just get right down to it. Stephanie Bakir, I think, is going to be holding this belt until WrestleMania. I wouldn't be surprised if it's going to be her versus Rhea Ripley as possibly one of the big matches where they want to welcome Stephanie Bakir to this era that is going on in WWE. She's on a championship run right now where they're kind of welcoming her to the main roster, getting people used to her, that, she honestly is a very good Mexican wrestler. Her English is getting much better. But this Nikki Bella feud, I have seen from a mile away. From the first time Nikki Bella showed up and she mispronounced Stephanie's name to openly saying that, she was best friends. But you could even see that Stephanie Bakir didn't trust Nikki Bella the whole time, openly backhanding, complimenting her about how good of a star she used to be and what the Divas Championship meant to her back in the day. I think that honestly, she's been seeing this happening and knew that we were coming down to here. In this match, I'm hoping for the best. Nikki Bella, she's never going to be one of my favorite wrestlers, but I can openly say that there was a time period, 2015, 2016, when she was running around with that Divas belt. The matches, they weren't great, but they were definitely better than what we were. I think that Nikki Bella doesn't get a lot of the respect that somebody like Paige does for the Divas Revolution and women's wrestling changing in WWE. Most people think it was like Charlotte Flair, Bayley, Sasha Banks, moving up to the main roster, and then them having that big 3-way with Becky Lynch, being involved in that one match. But Nikki was the one kind of raising the bar, whether that was through, the brother-sister relationship with Daniel Bryan, whether that was through her relationship with John Cena, was just striving to be better inside of the ring and just, getting better at her craft. That's something that I think a lot of people don't show her the respect for. This match right here, when I bought this ticket, I really openly wasn't thinking about the fact that I am seeing John Cena's last WWE PLE. Honestly, I would much rather see his last match than his last PLE match. But it means something to me that I am definitely seeing John Cena wrestle for the second time on this retirement tour since he announced it at Money in the Bank in Toronto. That was such a big surprise to, I think, a lot of people. We sort of thought that John was winding it down, but whenever he found time, he would come back to WWE. My first noticing that, John wasn't going to be coming back to wrestling as much as he did is during the writer and producer strike that happened with the acting people here in America, I guess you can say, through Los Angeles. And John Cena, as an actor, was not getting work because there was no work to be had. And you would think that John would come right back to WWE. He ended up coming in once the strike had already been ended. I don't think it had anything to do with the fact that he was on strike and didn't want to come back to wrestling, because it seems that wrestling and acting in movies and writing movies and things like that are a lot like the same. But that was my first thought of, like, John's got, other things, but the other things aren't the only things that are keeping him away. I don't think that makes a lot of sense, but that was my first thing of like, oh, but I didn't think that John was really going to hang up the boots and say he was never doing this again. John winning the Intercontinental Championship is a lot like when Bret Hart won the United States title in 2010 on Monday Night Raw. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but if you think about Dominic Mysterio, WWE loves this guy. If you go back to 2 years ago, I believe it was, when CM Punk came back to WWE at Survivor Series during the holiday tour, when WWE was in Madison Square Garden, as well as when they were in the Staples Center. CM Punk wrestled on those house shows against Dominic Mysterio. Dominic Mysterio wasn't even close to being the leader of the Judgment Day, but he was somebody that I think CM Punk wanted to work. He was an easy heat magnet where he would get himself over, and they knew the match was going to be good. So I think that's going to be awesome. Definitely something in this match should revolve around Rey Mysterio. San Diego, WWE, the WWE's merch, whatever it is, they've released a 619 Rey Mysterio commemorative title that is going to go on sale this weekend for Survivor Series. The guy's got to be somewhere, even if he's just the guy opening the show, like he's the guest host. Rey Mysterio, whether if he lives in Las Vegas these days or not, is Mr. San Diego, Mr. 619. I don't know. I don't think he's going to be involved in the finish, but then again, I think somewhere he has to be involved, even if he just comes running down and he's the one who runs off Finn Balor. He's the one who runs off JD McDonough. We all know that Liv Morgan is coming back sooner than later. I think she's coming back on SmackDown. That thing that aired on Raw said 4 days. So is that 4 days from then? I'm not really quite sure. But a lot of things with Dom never happened. I mean, definitely Dom and Roxanne Perez was not a thing. I don't know if Liv and Dom are even a thing. I know that the Judgment Day has mentioned her throughout the whole time, talking about how they're talking to her, and they, when major, decisions come up in the group, they're openly asking, like, did you run it by Liv? Did you run it by Liv? And Finn's getting mad because he thinks he's kind of the leader of the group, and everybody's treating Liv Morgan like she's the leader of the group. So in the end, I don't want to see John Cena lose, but I would love to see John Cena lose the Intercontinental Championship. So I on this retirement tour, the Brock Lesnar match that happened at WrestlePalooza, I don't understand that loss at all. But I don't know. Part of me sees Dom getting his Intercontinental Championship back, but I'm not really 100% sure on what that's going to be. But yeah, I want to see John win. Fuck it. I'm just going to pick John Cena to get the win here. Women's War Games match. This is just a group of names, just basically all thrown together. I think that the babyface team makes more sense for them to be together, but they should have just had this been a 4-on-4 War Games deal. It doesn't need to have 5 in there. By adding AJ Lee, by adding Becky Lynch. It makes no sense to me. Becky Lynch, you saw it on Monday, openly in the ring with the other girls, running them down, talking about the fact that she beats Asuka in matches more than half of the time, about how she's handled everybody on this team, and no one's really in her league. How, she's going to take Lash Legend under her wing and, basically show her the ropes so that way one day when she's done, she can take over. That made no sense. Not one heel picked up on the fact that Becky was talking crap to them to their face. The whole deal, are we really going to see some sort of embrace? There's two storyline friendships, I guess you can say, in this women's match. It's, Charlotte and Alexa Bliss. Are they friends? Are they not friends? Do they trust each other? Do they have each other's back? But then there's also Charlotte and Rhea, who, they had the whole deal of them getting together and basically trying to come together as friends to have this one match. And Charlotte just openly, yeah, okay, no problem. I'm with you. Like, she didn't have to be talked into it at all. So what was the whole storyline of SmackDown of, these guys going to some, I don't even know what it was, a castle or whatever the heck it was, and trying to all get along? Was it just some sort of like WWE paid for a beach trip, so we're just gonna go hang out for a little bit? But there was no decision to be made. The decision should have been made when Charlotte Flair came running down with the kendo stick, trying to beat everybody off and make the save for Alexa Bliss. I'm picking the babyface team, no doubt in my mind. I just don't see AJ Lee winning. That's the only thing. I don't understand her at all. It's almost like even with her joining this match, it is like she is still retired. And once this match is over, we are not going to see her again. The people say she signed full time, but I don't really know if what full time really is for her. Her staying away from WrestlePalooza until now really killed off any buzz that she had. And I just don't see it. We wanted to see AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch in a singles match for so long now that I don't even think people want to see that one match anymore. I don't see Rhea Ripley losing. I don't know when the last time Rhea Ripley lost a match was, but I'm going to take Rhea winning until the Royal Rumble, and I'm pretty sure that Rhea is going to be the one who wins the Rumble and goes to WrestleMania, where she'll probably fight against Stephanie Bakir. But then again, just because Bakir has the championship now doesn't mean that she's going to have it come WrestleMania. We might get one of those phantom Rhea Ripley, Io Sky title changes on Monday Night Raw yet once again. But women's War Games, take Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, as well as AJ Lee to get the win. Men's War Game match there's only 4 matches, but the War Games match is easily the one match that I am so glad I am going to San Diego to see more than anything else. There is a lot of storyline built into this match. If you look over at the Monday Night Raw storyline between CM Punk, Roman Reigns, as well as CM Punk, there's no better writing for this. And anybody who felt bored, didn't get it, nobody knows who the leader is. Nobody knows who the leader of this team is. Nobody knows who they're getting direction from. Everybody thinks that they are the first person on this team and they are the leader. Everybody's going in a different direction. Nobody knows, what the plan is going in. And I think that's something that they should plan out once they're all into the shark cages. Everybody thinks they're the next man going in, and all of a sudden you got 2 guys trying to walk through the cell at the same time, bumping shoulders. not knowing what is going on. Normally, when it comes to War Games matches, you have one true leader of your team. Whether if that was like, Roman Reigns last year as the leader of the Bloodline, even though CM Punk had to join in order for them to have five to have the match. You look over at the other side, Paul Heyman is the man that's going to be pulling all the strings, making sure, who is the first one in, who is the last one in, trying to make sure that their team has the best angle in order to win this whole deal. But basically, because Cody is WWE champion, he thinks that he is his own team, even though he was the fourth man to join this team. When it all comes down to it, in my opinion, I think CM Punk is the leader of this team. It was Jey Uso who came to Punk and said he wanted to fight alongside him against the Vision because of the fact that he is done with it. But I don't think what happened at the end of Monday Night Raw when the three of them were in the ring, I don't think that was about the Royal Rumble. I don't think it was about WrestleMania. I don't think it was about Roman Reigns challenging CM Punk or Cody Rhodes. I think they wanted to get over in the fact who is champion and who gets the chance to fight against those champions. I think when it all comes down to War Games and it is a 5-on-5 affair, I think Jey Uso is going to figure out where he fits on this team. The only person that makes him not the last seed on his team is his brother. He's a former world heavyweight champion. I think he thinks the world of himself and that he deserves a ton of respect. I think the reason for this War Games match is Jey Uso is going to turn. I think he's going to turn on CM Punk, but he could turn on Cody Rhodes. He's turning on somebody with a WWE champion. And you got to think of like, once he turns, is it just going to be that everybody jumps on him? You can't jump on him because of the fact Jimmy Uso, no matter what, is going to stand up for his brother. And Roman Reigns is definitely going to stand up for Jey and not let him, get mollywopped by CM Punk, no matter what is going on. So honestly, when it all comes down to it, the Bloodline, they've got numbers in this match. They might not have as many as the Vision does, but when it all comes down to it, if the bad guys, the Vision, see that like the good guys aren't getting along, they're all just basically going to step back and let them beat the hell out of each other. If you go back to when the Vision started doing this, it was Seth Rollins at the time who was like, no, now's not the time. Let them do the work for us. That's exactly what's going to happen inside of this match. I think, honestly, the heels are going to win this. I think it's going to be Brock, Drew, Logan, Braun, and Bronson. I'm really looking forward to a good, long, drawn-out affair. I think this match will more than likely come down to being possibly close to an hour. Really, really good stuff here. I'm really pumped for this pay-per-view. I'm going to be leaving Saturday morning, flying in. I think I get there at 10 a.m., which I thought was going to be early, but it kind of sounds like Miguel has been making plans for us. So probably I'll catch an Uber from the airport and meet him wherever he is going to be. As long as I have a chance to go to the Super Show, whether it is before or after, I know that I will be pumped, but I was about to say spending the night, like me and Miguel are going to be having a slumber party. But, just going back to the hotel, reliving old times with Miguel, drinking a couple brews. I think it's going to be awesome. I really appreciate everybody who stopped by. This was a little bit of a slower show. Because of the fact that I was looking at the card the whole time, I didn't look over at the chat. Rock and Roll, Jeremy, dude, you're my dude. I really appreciate you coming in here, rooting me on. You're really the one reason why I'm doing this. Once college football is done, I'm not sure if that's the bowls happen at New Year's or if they drag on. But I really hope we get back into the swing of things where we're doing our weekly show, talking some wrestling on Wednesdays. Possibly getting ready for the Royal Rumble. I know that we're going to be doing another Saturday night's main event before the Rumble. That's kind of like our 1 year anniversary. We've taken some time off. I'm looking forward to getting back into the whole deal. Smoking Dog G, or is it just Smoking Dog? What's up, Steve? Dude, I am having a good time. I honestly feel really, really blessed. My first week at my job was really tough, getting used to working at a busier store, I guess you can say. But now that we're on week number 3, I'm getting into the swing of things. I really think that we're nailing it. And as far as like the week of Thanksgiving, I honestly felt really dog tired when I got off on Thanksgiving. I understand the guys that are there right now are still working because of the fact it's not like my old store. The meat department used to close at 5 p.m. So when I left at 2, it was no big deal. The store I'm at now is open till 9. So I appreciate the guy, closing up shop. I did his job for 15 years. So I've openly told him I appreciate him. I know everything in the world that he is going through. And I can honestly say that I have been there before and I've done it for a long time. But when I leave at 2 o'clock, I feel like I can go work another job if I needed to. It's crazy. Next comment was thoughts on the Cena retirement tour so far. We're almost done with the whole deal. And I can honestly tell you, the only thing that would have made this better if they didn't get scared with the Cena heel turn back at SummerSlam and just magically turn him and him lose the title. I openly wanted Cena to run the year with the championship. Cody Rhodes to me is a really good champion. Cody Rhodes beating John Cena at SummerSlam. I'm not going to fight it. I'm not going to say that it was a bad idea, but I'm openly going to tell you that Cody hasn't really done anything with the championship since he won it. If you really think from SummerSlam to now, he fought Drew McIntyre at WrestlePalooza. I think he fought Drew McIntyre on an episode of SmackDown. And that's basically it. John is a good guy. Basically, he's been able to go out and deliver a few promos. But John is a bad guy. Ain't losing that match to Brock Lesnar at WrestlePalooza. And that's possibly, to me, the biggest slight of this whole year for John Cena. John's one of my favorite dudes once it's all said and done. I don't think I'll put him in my top 2. I don't think he's Hulk Hogan. I don't think he's Triple H to me. But I would put him up there with like Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, The Ultimate Warrior, Stone Cold Steve Austin. I think he's in that upper echelon of big, big names, and he deserves it. Some people, when they build their Mount Rushmores, maybe some people do it by eras. I think of his era, it's hard to even put Roman Reigns up there against him. They both had really, really good runs. Roman had a great run, but I don't think Roman's was as long as John Cena's was. The only thing that took John Cena out of the main event basically was what was I getting at right here? The only thing that took John Cena out of the main event was himself. Like I guess you can say going out and like doing movies. When Cena wasn't the WWE champion, if you go back to the whole CM Punk when he was pissed and he left WWE, a lot of that had to do with the fact that CM Punk was the WWE champion, and John Cena was still wrestling in the main event, even if the match was against a guy like John Laurinaitis. But Cena's retirement tour has been awesome. I'll tell you, his last Monday Night Raw, I didn't like shed a tear, but all of a sudden, I got sad. when I realized that this was the last time John Cena was going to be not on TV, but the last time he was going to be on TV, where you could just turn on, the USA channel or Netflix or whatever it is now, and there he is. He'll always live on the network. He'll always live on HBO when it comes to like the Peacemaker. I think that's what it is. I haven't watched it yet, but people talk about it like it's a really, really good show. But yeah, that's it. Survivor Series, War Games. Let's go. It's gonna be awesome, man. I appreciate you guys. Boom, taking that flight Saturday morning. I'm really hoping to make some really good videos with Miguel. Hopefully, it'll live up to the name of things. Just as a side note, Assault and Battery 777. The dude's been coming out with like weekly videos. Not even weekly. I said that wrong. The guy's been coming out with like almost daily videos. He's almost Stevie Breach status. AAB 777, or you can spell it all out, Assault and Battery 777. Ravi is one of the best dudes, the nicest dudes. I'll honestly tell you, he's one of the coolest guys in the world that I don't really understand how I fit in to become one of his friends when I think at the time I was close to 10 years older than he was. And the only thing that really brought us together was our love of professional wrestling. But go check out those videos and hopefully we can get freaking Yaya 88 to come back to the game. So way longer than I wanted it to be, but I appreciate you guys. I had a ton of fun. Survivor Series on Saturday. Let's go.